Hey everyone, Kane here, and in this one we're gonna go over another one of my fights on my way climbing to 4,300 dual tower points. So, finally made it. I faced quite a few of people, some 16 million, some 15. I've even lost to some 15. I think I've even lost to a 14 million core who had, I think, tier 19 skeletons. Yeah. So, pretty much a wild ride. This is still not the end, so perhaps at the very last day, I might be able to get somewhere 4,350 maybe closer to 4,400. Who knows? We're gonna see. So the file we're gonna go over is this one, a person pretty close to 16 million core. I fought him, I think, a total of 3 times. The first time I faced him was probably a similar difference. I did manage to beat him. The second time he flawlessed me, and the third time I managed to beat him myself. Basically, majority of the casualties right now are just from us fighting in terms of the burst side and stuff like that. So, touching on what we have. So he has a pretty decked out dragon, 1300 power, I suppose decent stats. He has dragon skill, hearts, shadow, aura blast, and void eater with draconic blessing. So his dragon is specifically just for utility, buffing, and also defenses. So yeah, let's see. I think he has destruction. Oh, he has all three of them at tier 4. Okay, that's pretty friggin' huge. So his frontline is fairly tanky for swordman. Then you have decent resistances. You have not very good healing received, I suppose, and not very high enemy crit rate reduction. So I think he overcapped in the resistances part through equipment, through covenant or so. Not entirely sure why he didn't focus the other two stats. And then the archers. So he has a decent amount of attack speed, I do believe, a decent amount of accuracy, as well as crit damage and crit rate. So these archers, usually from what I see in terms of people, they don't have or usually don't have a lot of crit damage, but they do have a lot of attack speed. And these archers, especially these ones, do happen to hit further behind the front line, and they can kill some buffers, some heroes, or some arrows can land on, even something like a backline spider, which I also had in some fights. And some fights is performing good, some fights is performing bad. So he did quite a lot of damage with archers. These are his heroes, which we faced on the burst side. And then I have Valerie, as you can see, some skeletons. Spider didn't really perform well. He was debuffed by Rufio at the very beginning, and in the end didn't manage to do anything. Then, of course, we have this. This is basically a Void Eater Swordman squad by his dragon that was able to tank so much because a lot of damage was being dished out and basically during the invincibility of the Swordman. And even the Spider is able to tank quite a bit of damage. Healing received, basically no healing was done because stall side versus stall side, not much healing to be done there, except for, of course, his dragon provided decent healing, as well as, say, my Floras provided decent healing, as well as, I suppose, Solaris from somewhere. One moment, what does my Solaris have? So I have, yeah, I'm not sure where he does get the healing from, never mind. So, let's see. His heroes, as he said, I'm decent. Yeah, pretty good. I used like exactly the same build, I do believe. Let's see. I mean, he could use a better build. This is not really focused on damage more so than just leveling those abilities to higher levels. I'm not sure if it's better. I think it's quite a bit worse than the build I have on my own Valerie. Then, of course, he has heroes like Sprig, which are pretty useless even in experience and stuff like that. Like, Sprig does 0 damage regardless. He has decent gladiators, decent paladins, but he doesn't have DPS heroes in terms of, let's say, mages or rogues. So his damage on the burst side will always be lacking, and it's very dependent on him for his Rufio to either kill the mages or kill the dragon. And his Rufio didn't really manage to do anything. So as you can see, his attack value is 9.1 and 45 million HP. So if we look, god damn it, if we look at my Rufio, right, he has 24 million HP and 9.1 million attack. Of course, I have other prisms on the field, which likely either does something or buffs it or whatever. But basically, this is what happens when you run the Lich formation. Your heroes are a lot stronger than the enemies. And even though I have like twice the less HP, the damage usually is the same, though a lot of chances for it to still die. So I do believe that quite a few of the heroes are decently built with either the Drake set, the Dragon set, and stuff like that. I don't think there should be any issues, and looking into prisms may take quite a bit of time. But even then, I think he didn't really manage to mess many of them up. So let's see. So why did I use the spider? The thing about the spider is it lowers or reduces the enemy healing efficacy or healing received, I do believe, in these wars, because I don't think that this was fixed. No frontline is actually healing, as well as summon some broodlings. Let's see, damage over time. Yeah, basically this as well as the Zen spider buff or poison. Each attack against a poison target, which this does, successively deals 30% more bonus damage up to a maximum of 300%. So in my current formation where I have this at somewhat like a corner, so he does happen to turn to that side, happens to turn to that side. I have like Valerie here blasting and debuffing stuff right here. Sometimes I proc my Avril somewhere in that corner. So with this spider already stacking so much on that front line, the damage sometimes happens to be quite a bit in fights I even win or in fights I even lose. And in only like this square that I can put, or these squares, I can only put a mummy, which I don't know if it would be that useful. Usually people would just jump on it and they would just die instantly. Whereas in quite a few of the fights, basically a spider can just solo carry the win, or would be quite a bit better than that of a, let's say, a mummy. And you don't even need a rose to buff them. And I will, at the very end, we'll just go through a few battles that I had and just showing you some data and stuff like that. So the fight, let's check it out. So I face burst versus burst, and my dragon is in front of his heroes, even his Sizo, Ophidia. So I started with Raxius, he started with Raxus, we debuffed all of our DPSs. He had Rufio and like 4 gladiators in front of my dragon. He decided to jump with his Rufio. I did jump with Rufio on his DPSs as well, because my, I do believe Avril was stunned. And I didn't even spin, I think. Yeah, I didn't even spin, I just casted my Avril. The reason for that is because if my Avril doesn't go off with the abilities, she's gonna die pretty quickly. I don't care if my Rufio dies. Sure, there's archers here, stuff like that. I don't care if they get morale boosted. Basically, he's there to provide this pretty huge debuff. And after that, for me, if I spin or not doesn't matter. So he jumped on my spider. My spider barely attacks anything. And he spun to my mages. As well as Alana and stuff like that, and he just got killed instantly, because I do believe Sizo and Titisafin killed the gladiator, and it was instant refocus. So at some point, I think I recasted Avril Blizzard on the mages, as well as Bad Blitz, and the mages slowly started falling with the dragon also slowly being focused. Now, do you see what the Void Eater did? Basically 30 seconds, that Swordman squad took almost no damage, and now look at it, the Void Eater is active Fireballs are going onto. They're burning. Spider is hitting them. Look how many balls and literally zero damage, like zero. And they're still being pushed and like, dude, this fucking Void Eater is annoying. They either need to fix the description or just fix the skill. It's crazy, bro. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That is the Swordman squad that friggin' tanked 200 billion damage, basically from area damage from my mages. And after that, it's of course a few DPS heroes that managed to survive because his DPS heroes were level 65. His only trump card was Rufio, which kind of failed for him at the moment. I do believe again Tisafin and Saizo killed the Gladiator, and they just instantly turned on Rufio and killed him. And after that, just clearing the stall side wasn't really much of an issue. And of course, the only Gladiator left there. So quite a lot of people still do value, let's say, archers, even as high core, so the archers would carry their PvP and then they would focus on gladiators. In a sense, that thing can still work, or there are or will be formations that this formation will as well counter in the very near future, because a lot of people I know will start using it. However, against Lich, I'm not sure if this is like the best. I mean, if he did get his rogues level 70, mages level 70, this would be a pretty different outcome likely if he did manage to kill some of my mages. Because I don't have archers in terms of DPS and etc. And if he has so much burst and also archers, that could mean a very, very different thing. So now for the spider, I'm not entirely sure which videos he did damage, but as you can see, this one here, he focused tier 19 skeletons, did happen to do quite a lot of damage from area. I do believe on this one, my burst side got deleted, but he still did quite a bit of damage. I think on this one, he did quite a lot as well. Like pretty much if you're facing human, a spider like does incredible damage. Like if he doesn't get focused and he stacks on one frontline squad, basically that frontline squad can die in the next 10, 15 or so seconds, even with like some healing or so, just because he stacked. Now do keep in mind, I think I had a Rhino set from the PvE content still set up on my spider. So the thing is, when we go into the fight, the only ranged unit on my field in terms of army is the spider. So basically the Rhino thingy, whatever the buff is, the attack speed, always procs on my spider, I do believe. I'm not entirely sure. Some fights, I think I had Elephant during the ending or the video I spoke about, but basically 45% accuracy, and the spider is just firing like friggin' crazy, and it stacks like this bonus damage pretty quickly. So I started to use that over the Verm, and I've also seen some pretty decent, I suppose, differences. I also changed a little bit my formation from before, I do believe. One moment. So what I did was, I had Ophidia in here, then I moved my Ophidia closer to here, to that side, as well as I moved Arian to the side as well, and moved Basric to this corner. So the reason for that is, whenever I face Lich stall sides, right, a lot of the skeletons usually tend to run behind my dragon and just kill the mages, Ophidia, Tisafin, etc. And right now, the Basric buys enough time so that some of these skeletons, or even this squad of skeletons, just has enough time to run around and block like this part of the dragon. Not always, but like half of the times or so. So I don't really need to worry about skeletons like literally messing up my entire burst side anymore. Unless, of course, they have some decent DPS and he procs Basric almost instantly or whatever. So that was one of the bigger changes. I moved Avril a little bit to the side, mainly because in terms of the fight, when Avril is here, she doesn't run like this way, she runs that way. And then I cannot focus a lot of stuff, so now she just runs a little bit forward. and I have a lot of range on her abilities, as well as, of course, Arian. So I had Arian, I think, here somewhere or here somewhere, I'm not entirely sure. And basically I already have a lot of damage on this part of the field. So he's just walking forward and proccing the debuffs here, likely the debuffs splitting to both sides. So he either helps my burst side a little bit, or he provides already debuff targets for when I am doing a pincer move, so it is a little bit faster, or even assisting the spider to actually killing the front line quite a bit faster. So these were the few changes to my formation. I changed a couple of prisms as well to make it a little bit better and so. And honestly, I made my dragon quite a bit tankier than before, mainly due to me playing the Refining Master and upgrading the resistances of the dragon quite well. And as you can see, so many gladiators, even Rufio, a few seconds near the dragon, and the dragon was still pretty much decent HP. So I don't know, I do believe those resistances do kind of help out. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe out there.